Welcome back to another video, and the topic of this video is going to be Gable End Rakes. We know what garden rakes are, of course. I didn't know what these were called. They're called rakes, and Gable End Rakes to be specific. And these guys go on the north and south end of my roof, right on the very edges of that peak. So they cover up the fascia and also lay on top of the metal roof panels. And so when they're installed up there, they're going to meet and they're going to look like so. So over the years, I've noticed a lot of you folks that watch these videos remember a lot of detail. So you may remember that my roof is a 3/12 pitch. So what that means is the gable end rakes I'm going to put up there need to be adjusted for that 3/12 pitch as well, right where they come together at the peak. But first of all, I need some tools to start this job, and I'll show you what I'm going to use. First tool is this speed square given to me by one of my subscribers. I'm also going to need this T-bevel, also this very serious metal bender, and naturally some metal cutting snips. So first thing I need to do is take that 3/12 pitch and translate that onto my T-bevel. And here's how I do that. First, I've got this scrap piece of drip edge, and I'm just going to use it as a prop, basically, to mark on. So for someone like me who has basically no math skills at all, but I can learn. And so I've already pre-done this, but I'm going to show you how I got this cool angle here. First, here's a dot here. That's the pivot point. So now I'm going to take my speed square and slide it over to where that dot is, okay? Now, pay attention to this bottom row of numbers. I want to look for 3 because my pitch is a 3/12 pitch. So again, let's turn this until it goes all the way up and matches this line here, the very top part of the of my surface here, with the number 3 down here. Okay, there we go. And again, staying on the pivot, and then see again coming up to the 3, and that is where I mark my angle. And here we go. That is now a 3/12 pitch. So next I'm going to do what I call training my T-bevel. And first off, what happens here, you can loosen it or tighten it like so. All right. And so I'm using the bottom part to run along the edge of the top of this piece of metal. And now I'm just going to adjust it, as you can see, so it's right along this black line. See the black line here? There we go. I can just lock it in place like so. Now we have the T-bevel aligned for a 3/12 pitch angle. And of course, I do not want that T-bevel to move on me. So I've put it down really tight. So now I'll bring in the gable end rake and then cut it so that when it goes up on the roof, it should fit really well. Okay, first thing we've got to do is mark our top side here with a 1-inch marking. Okay, that's 1 inch. I can see my 1-inch mark here, right here, so I'm going to put that right down like so and match that. And then this goes down at an angle like so. And we'll just make a little mark here, right at the end. Now I'm going to cut this whole piece off here. Not a perfectly straight cut, but I don't think anyone's going to see it. Now we'll just continue our 1-inch line down here. So now we don't need this piece here, so we'll cut this here. Oh, sir. There. That's cut. So these guys here are called hand seamers. So I'm just going to put it up here where the mark was and give her a bend, like so. And the corresponding gable end rake has different cuts so that they'll actually fit together. If you want more details, you're welcome to drop me an email. There, and that's cut out. Now that we've got a dry fit, so to speak, I've got to take it all down again and drill some holes so that it can go in place properly, and also cut off the two long ends on both of them. So I marked this when I was up on the roof. So now I'm going to measure and then cut this whole section off. There we go. Okay, for screw placement, I started 3 inches from the end and halfway down the face of this gable end rake, and it's 3 inches. And from there, it's every 12 inches I'm doing a hole. So let's get drilling with fear and trepidation. I have to admit, I'm a little nervous about drilling this because once you do it, you can't undrill it, but let's give it a go. First order of the day is to get strapped in here. Now, a new roofing guy's error was this. I put screws so close to the edge, they interfere now with where that gable end rake is going to sit. So I have to pull them all up. Not fun, but all part of it. Now, unfortunately, the little rubber washer part on the roofing screw is glued in place, so I have to literally go along with a flat screwdriver and a hammer and pop them out. A little labor intensive, but we'll do it. Now, there's one at the very, very bottom, but for safety issues, not doing that. I'm going to be up on the scaffolding and doing that one. All right, time to put her in place. And then I'll go down on the ladder and put one screw in it just to hold it before I come back up here and make sure we glue it and batten it down. Okay. Let's see how this goes. I think I'm going to put in a new tube because this is kind of counterproductive, I think. There we go. All opened. I'll put the nozzle part back on. See it anyway. Although as usual, I'm getting stuff all over because that's kind of what I do. All right, now need to drill holes for these screws. Okay. Okay, we've got that all in place, and it doesn't look too bad. So right now there's only one screw holding that in place, but the top part is all glued and all the screws placed where they're supposed to go. So as you can imagine, folks, I am really anxious to get this roof done. Man, it's definitely taking longer than I thought it would. There's a lot more parts to it, so to speak, as well. And the good news, though, is I'm down to just needing to put the cap, that ridge cap on there. That's that piece of metal that goes all the way across the top and kind of seals the very peak. So that's my next project. When that's done, wow, roof construction will be over, and all of you folks who've been worried about me up there can breathe a sigh of relief. And for me, I'm just going to be happy it's done. And just in time, because we got monsoon rains coming any day now. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. That'll let you know when my next video is coming up, and you'll get to see more progress here on my homestead. And I really appreciate you dropping by, and please leave a comment, give it a thumbs up, and I'm so thankful you've came by to watch this video, and see you on the next one.